Thank you for joining me. Today I want to briefly discuss what the upcoming new president of Nintendo of America needs to be successful. I will discuss this topic from the perspective of consumers, then as a professional consultant and PR manager. I've mentioned before, I really prefer to do the lighthearted, funny videos and focus on game development and games here, but I will discuss topics professionally when I deem it necessary. One of the things consumers want and expect from the leader of Nintendo of America is a sense of reassurance, leadership, and vision. A very high standard was set by Reggie Fils-Aimé, and people still remember and expect that kind of leadership. Reassurance. The brand of Nintendo is tied intrinsically to that feeling, as many people connected with Nintendo during a specific part of their life, and they expect it to be part of this feeling of reassurance. It is part of the reason why some people feel genuinely betrayed or hurt when they see the legal side, the corporate side of the Nintendo company engage in business operations that appear to be hostile. Something Doug Bowser did not make part of his approach to leadership is open communication with customers and longtime supporters to offer reassurance, to offer clear leadership where there is a specific direction to move toward, and to share a vision of the future. Consumers may not entirely understand that this is what they want from a leader, but it is what they want, and whether they know it or not, they expect it. Mr. Bowser's approach has been reserved, and this is partly why consumers feel like they are not being communicated with. I want to address this topic as an industry professional and PR manager briefly. Mr. Bowser's public relations manager or public relations team did not sufficiently advise him on the deeper implications or the hidden expectations of his role as leader of the Nintendo brand for the Western world. And I mean no insult or disrespect here. This is merely offering professional counsel here. There are a number of small, candid interviews in which Doug answered interview questions not in a way that brought consumers a sense of reassurance, but instead a sense of corporate aloofness and a lack of care for customers. And I'm not saying that those aspects are true about Mr. Bowser or Nintendo. I am saying that that is how Doug's approach to public relations has caused the consumers to feel. A strong public relations manager, a public relations team would have a very strong understanding of this. They would be able to read the room, check the temperature, and they would be able to advise their whoever is public. They would be able to advise on the way to best communicate and to best deliver the message that needs to be brought to customers and consumers. The public sentiment for Nintendo is quite low at the moment, with a significant amount of negativity toward the brand being expressed online. So let's address the elephant in the room. Consumers are worried that Devon Pritchard will be a Kathleen Kennedy and ruin Nintendo with girl power. This is not something you can avoid or escape, and it must be addressed in some way, in a positive way. The way that female leadership works is very different from male leadership, and this has nothing to do with sexism. It has to do with expectation and intrinsic cultural understanding. Females have different strengths and expectations than males when it comes to leadership. Showing a force of strength the same way that a male would will not be accepted in the same way, and it would result in mockery and ridicule. Stoicism from a female is also not treated the same way either. A more proactive, firm, and reassuring approach would be most appropriate for Ms. Pritchard's approach. Ms. Pritchard would benefit from a more visible presence, displaying a deep understanding and care for the intellectual properties that Nintendo brings to consumers. A show of Pritchard genuinely engaging with and enjoying Nintendo games, speaking earnestly about the future of the brand and upcoming products in a non-corporate environment where things are glossy and artificial. This would go a long way into strengthening the relationship between Nintendo and its longtime supporters. Lastly, and most importantly, something that Ms. Pritchard can adopt into her strategy as leader is to openly show that she and the Nintendo brand are listening to customers. This is very important. Will Nintendo be a company that serves its stakeholders or its longtime supporters and customers? This is a tricky topic and a slippery slope. A balance must be struck between these requirements. This is not about criticism or optimizing revenue. It is about seizing an opportunity to strengthen the relationship and trust between a brand and its customers. There are far more beneficial long-term benefits at stake here than mere revenue. People do not want Nintendo to be a faceless, soulless corporation. I hope you understand what that means when I say that. This is an opportunity for Nintendo, a great opportunity. I genuinely hope you seize that opportunity and make the most of it. Thank you for listening. Be well.